welcome to Energy Tune-Up. What are they and why do you need it? With me, your host, Tammy Hawksworth. This is part of my series on my services offered for supporting your well-being, helping you understand what the services I offer entail. There we go. Oh, go back. All right, so for those of you who stay to the end, I have a special bonus for you as a token of my appreciation for investing your time and showing up in person and staying to the end. So stay to the end to see what the gift is for you. So you are in the right place. If you don't know what an energy tune-up is, you don't know what your energy centers are and what they do. And you're in the right place if you are looking for something like this. Something in the way. Maybe I'll put it up here. If you're looking for alternatives to your wellness, since maybe what you've tried in the past just isn't giving you the wellness outcomes you had hoped for. Jumped again. Disclaimer, I have to put this in here. It's an important thing that I have to include. I am not a medical professional. I don't treat, diagnose, prescribe, cure, or otherwise provide medical interventions for disease, disorders, or conditions. So please seek out the advice from your approved medical or healthcare providers for these services. And if you're currently under the care of one of these providers, a healthcare provider or a medical professional, please remain under their care. Please say the medical terminology that you might share with me if it's in class or in the question for your healthcare professionals to avoid any possible misunderstandings or miscommunications that may appear to be or represent treatment, diagnosing, prescribing, curing, or other forms of medical advice or interventions. Thank you. So I'm so excited to meet you. Here's a little bit about me so you can get to know me a little bit. I am a certified aroma freedom technique practitioner. So what that in a nutshell means is I use your sense of smell and natural aromas to help clear the emotional charge off situations that might trigger or activate you. I will be doing workshops on these other techniques, so I'll go into that more in detail there. I'm a licensed spiritual health coach, which is why I can provide these services for you. I'm a certified raindrop harmonics technique specialist, also certified in classic raindrop technique specialist as well. So one is basically the whole technique is done with hands and oils. The harmonics might involve tuning forks or color lights. I'm a masterful student of sacred body language translations, and what that means is I can help you understand what your body's trying to tell you so you can have a conversation with your body and maybe clear that signal out for good simply through some words and decrees. I do add those in often to my other services. I am a published author. I published 3 books in about 4 months a few years back. And so you can, 2 of them were journals. One is a journal I use every day. It's part of my morning empowerment routine. Another was a sample journal to teach people how to create their own book and publish it on Amazon. And the 3rd book is a children's book on one of the aroma freedom techniques because one of the techniques is so simple you can often clear the emotional charge in about 60 seconds. And it's great for adults, but it's also really great for kids, and it's so simple that I created a children's book for them. I'm a course creator, so I have a number of different courses available on my website. Some are free and some are paid. I'm a podcaster. I have a podcast out there. You can listen to it on a number of different platforms, and you can check it out on my website as well. And there's just so many more things I could add here, but we want to keep this more about the technique than about me. So that's a little bit about me. So what you'll learn here today is what an energy tune-up is, why having your energy centers clear and aligned matters for your well-being, and how to know if your body is sending you the signs and signals that, hey, maybe you require an energy tune-up. So first we're going to clear some myths out of the way. So some common misunderstandings about energy centers. Myth number 1, energy centers, aka also known as your chakras. There's different ways to pronounce that word. I may or may not be pronouncing it right, and that's okay, are inherently unchristian or pagan. So I'm also going to flow through this presentation as a Christian. I'm a Christian. However, if you're not a Christian, take what resonates for you and just let the rest go. Connect with whatever your higher power or your source is, and you can replace that. But I'm going to talk about it from a Christian perspective. So some faith-filled or Christian men and women believe that chakras are part of a non-Christian or pagan religious system, and therefore engaging with them would be conflicting with their faith. But the truth for this is God designed our bodies to be in a state of health and well-being. While the concept of chakras may have originated from Eastern spiritual tradition, Christians who integrate chakra balancing or energy work often do so because they know God expects us to take care of this body that He's given us, and you may see that your energy centers are just another way of understanding the body's physical, spiritual, and emotional health and interpreting them as part of God's creation. Similar to understanding how physical organs work within the body and how they help keep us healthy. The focus is on aligning with God's will and using these tools for natural, normal self-healing, not worshiping other deities. Common misunderstanding about energy centers. Myth number 2. Chakras are about self-reliance, not relying on God. Some people think that working with your chakras is about relying on your own energy and power, and could be seen as bypassing relying on God. Truth number 2. Our bodies are God created. Many men and women see the balancing of these neuroendocrine energy centers as a way to invite God's healing and love in our bodies, aligning them with Him and with the Holy Spirit. Maybe even during this session, you might pray, use affirmation. You may even seek out some divine guidance or answers during the process. Understand that all healing ultimately comes from God. He created our bodies. He knows them best. So balancing that energy is not about self-reliance, but rather about self-stewardship over our body and spirit that God has given us, right? So if you think about it, if your vehicle is starting to spit and sputter, you don't ignore, well, most of us don't ignore that. We take it to the repair shop and say, hey, why is my vehicle acting up? It's making this weird noise. Does it need oil change? Does it need an air filter? Whatever. Like, you're going to get that taken care of. So when our body sends us signals, this is just our body's way of saying, hey, we need something tuned up as well. So common misunderstanding about energy centers. Myth number 3. Chakras are just new age and they have no scientific basis. Well, some people believe that chakras are purely new age, woo-woo, or a mystical idea with no relevance to the physical or emotional aspects of health, and no scientific evidence to support that. However, truth number 3 is that God's ways are often higher than our ways. We don't always understand how everything works. And although technology is improving, um, which I will talk about in a little bit, the concept of chakra stems from Eastern practices. The idea that emotional, mental, and spiritual being are connected to the physical health is being increasingly supported by modern holistic health approaches. From my Christian viewpoint, this is all interconnectedness of the body, mind, and spirit. And we can find this in scripture as well. I've included a link there that you're welcome to look up. And our neuroendocrine center systems can be viewed as just another way to care for our divinely created body. There are now new technologies that are even able to measure these subtleties and even show visualizations of the energetic fields in and around our body. Think of magnetic resonance scans. I was at a wellness fair and the lady could actually show what color your aura was. Like technology has come a long way in helping us really see the things that are unseen typically. So you're probably thinking, oh, why do I need an energy tune-up anyways? Well, we kind of talked about the car thing. So if your body's sending your signals, it might be good to check into it. But here's some reasons why. Have you ever been in a good mood and then you've bumped into somebody who's been in a bad mood and then you feel in a bad mood? Or you've been happy and somebody's been sad and then you feel sad too. So sometimes we just need to clear that energy out. Or maybe we have a blockage so in the energy flow within our body. So we need to clear that out so energy can flow. I mean, if we got a blockage in our blood flow, that would be a problem. That would be a major health problem that would require immediate medical attention. Well, we have energetic flow through our body as well. And so when those get blocked, we need to clear that out for life energy to flow. That's the next one. It helps improve our well-being. We feel better when everything's flowing as it should. We can improve our overall energy level. I know when I feel imbalance in my life, I get a lot more done. I am able to go and do the things that I want to do and choose to do, and we can restore comfort. So if there's a blockage somewhere, that can be uncomfortable. And so when we clear it, we can restore comfort. And another wonderful benefit that I really like is can improve our sleep. I don't know about you, but I definitely appreciate a good night's sleep. So this is, I'm choosing to read what it says because there's a thing. It says our body connections with the energy centers. So this is how I'm helping you see that even though they're called chakras, like the crown, the brow, third eye, throat, so on the one side of the screen here, they are connected to our endocrine centers. So very specific glands in our body, and those glands are what regulate what happens. They send out the hormones that make the things happen in our body. And so when they're working well, we work well. So some emotional signals that you might see that show that there's a disconnection is your connection with your higher power might not be as good. If you have a blockage in your crown, that's the pineal. I believe that's the pineal. And that can show up as physical challenges like learning disabilities, learning challenges, seizures, discomfort in the head area. And the body organs that are associated with that are the brain, cerebral cortex, and your skin. And so, as you can see from this chart, feel free to screenshot this chart. It's a fun chart. And you can see that each of these glands are connected to different areas, organs of our body. And so this is how you know if you need a tune-up and for what area. So let's say you're having some chest tightness here in the middle under physical signs, right? And you've not been feeling like very loved lately, right? So that could be a sign that your heart energy center could use a tune-up and a clearing so you can receive the love. There's lots of love given to us often that we maybe push away or ignore and see it from a different perspective. So when we are clear, we can see it for what it is. And so this is a great chart. Um, There we go. And so this is another chart just showing how emotions show up in the various parts of our body. So our shoulders, if your shoulders are really achy, maybe you're feeling like you're carrying a lot of burdens, a lot of heavy stuff. Maybe you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, right? It's heavy. And when we have that, that's heavy, it's achy. We really feel that in here. And sometimes it's we're carrying things that belong to other people. I call these the shoulds. You should. You should do this and you should do that. That people tell us we should do. Um, that's maybe not what I choose to do. As you can see in the center, lungs are often place where we store grief when we're feeling grief. And so that's in that heart center area. And so sadness and grief, loneliness shows up a lot in that area. You may have heard that anger is stored in the liver. So that's in the solar plexus area. And so maybe you've got a lot of anger coming up. So maybe that area needs some extra attention and clearing. And so that's just how you can, recognize those signs that an area could be blocked and needs some clearing. So this probably feels like I'm giving you a whole lot of information to take in and you're drinking from a fire hose. But that's okay because you're still here because you have been trying things and they're not working. And maybe you're ready to try something new. And you know that there has to be a better way out there. Or maybe somebody's told you that they've tried this technique and they've had success. And I'm just like you. I'm looking for wellness options for me and my family too. Oh, and so here are some fun things that you may not know about frequency and our human body. So Dr. Hans Jennings and Dr. Royal Wright, these people, they both made discoveries that each of our body organs has its own specific frequency. And even though we can't hear it with our human ear, now with technology that they have, that is measurable. And Dr. Peter Manners, who was an assistant with Dr. Hans Jennings, he discovered and noted that if an organ was diseased, it stopped emitting that healthy keynote frequency. And so he also discovered that once the diseased or unhealthy organ's keynote, so the healthy frequency was aimed at that organ, the organ was restored to its health through the resonance from the healthy frequency. How cool is that? So that's another reason tuning forks help to help get your body back in tune. Bruce Tanio, could be pronouncing his name wrong, please forgive me if I am, from Washington, has studied frequencies of people in various states of health. He studied foods, herbs, and even some essential oils, and this is what he discovered. That boxed and canned foods, you may know the answer to this already, have none. 0 megahertz of energy to offer us. That means if you're eating boxed food and canned foods, you're not providing any energy for your body. That's why we eat. Energy, food is the fuel to energize our body. One of the ways we energize our body. that essential oils can amplify the energetic desire and intention for healing and also raise our healthy frequency required for healing. That's pretty cool. Essential oils can amplify our desires and intentions for healing. I'm going to talk about that a little later in one of the other points about essential oils and intention. That our thoughts can increase. So imagine happy, good, positive thoughts. They're increasing your frequency or decrease the frequency in our body. So imagine if you're having negative or depressing thoughts, they're actually lowering your body's natural frequency. And he also discovered that prayer increases our frequency by 15 megahertz. That's pretty impressive, 15 megahertz, just by saying prayer. So here's just a few more things. Dr. Masaru Emoto, he's a Japanese scientist. He discovered that molecules of water were affected by our thoughts, words, and feelings. He could even have an effect on filthy, polluted water for good. So if you check out his work, there's videos on YouTube. You can see he takes some filthy, dirty water and he says the thoughts and words and whatever over it, and then he freezes it. And so he takes pictures of this frozen water with a special camera at specific times. And so the dirty water before it's been affected looked like a mess. It looked unpleasant, not nice. You would not want to drink it. But afterwards, it was crystalline, almost like snowflakes, and very beautiful. So I love his work. And then recently, in the last couple of years, I didn't discover her, but I came across her work, Beta Austin. And she has discovered and demonstrated how water responds to our thoughts and intentions in ways that we previously thought were unimaginable. Basically, she believes water is fluid intelligence. It can hear and understand, and what she's doing is she's putting thoughts or images near water, and it's creating in the frozenness of the water that she tells you how to do it. You can even practice it yourself. And these images are showing up in the crystalline images. So it could be a leaf. She puts the water over a leaf. She freezes the water. And then when she takes a picture of it, there's crystalline shape of the leaf. So cool. So why would this be important? This is important because our body is mostly made up of water. Babies as much as 90%, and as we're older, around 70%, and as you continue to age. Jonathan Goldman, a musician and respected sound healer, states frequency, and down below I have tuning forks because that's frequency plus intention. And remember, we learned back previously on the previous slide that essential oils follow intention equals healing. So to help restore. So first realize this is not the only way to balance your energy centers. There are multiple ways and things out there, modalities that can help support you. But for what I do, I use a pendulum. I check your endocrine center. I start at your root and move to your crown. And then I use the tuning forks in a very particular process to clear and align. And then I'll recheck with the pendulum to make sure that it has balance, because there's the occasional time where I repeat the process and to clear it. So how does this work? How is this possible? And I'm voting victory that this video will play. And this process is called resonance attunement. And this is where a matching frequency causes another object of a matching frequency to resonate. So let's check this out and see if it works. So this is another demonstration, which I'm just going to explain because I don't want to lose my presentation by heading out to YouTube. But if you look up spontaneous synchronization and you find this on YouTube, you will see that they're taking these metronomes and they've started them each at a different time. So they're all checking differently to pick differently. And but over time, they all do the same. Tick, 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 tick by the end. And they stay going the same in sync. And so we do that too. When we're around different energies, we sync with that energy, which is why it's best if you want to maintain a positive, uplifting outlook in life to hang around with people who are positive and uplifting in their outlook. If you hang around people who are depressed and complaining all the time, guess what? Chances are you're going to be feeling depressed and complain more than usual. All right, so we're going to move to the next slide. So it's time for you to discover what an energy tune-up is. So what this looks like for me is if you're in person for this class, someone in the class will be being our model for the demonstration. So what this looks like is having a demonstration of the technique if you're in person. However, if you're on my online class, I already have recorded the demonstration. And so this is what it looks like. And this is also how I perform a virtual session for you. So here I'm activating the tuning forks to balance me, calm and centered before I do the tuning for you. I'm using 2 tuning forks on my sacral energy center. I'm just taking some nice deep breaths here. And then once I feel balanced and aligned, I'm going to take my pendulum here and check one of the energy centers. Normally I start at the root, but I'm just selecting the sacral one here. And as you can see, the pendulum did not move, so it's out of alignment. So now I'm activating my tuning forks. These are the 2 lowest of the set of 4. And I'm keeping the lower one towards the feet. And these ones with those little knobbies on them, my instructor likes to call them bunny ears, they're weighted forks. They are meant for being on the body. So I leave that there for a few moments, and then I activate up a step. So I go up an octave. So one is still on the body, and the second one is in the aura above the body. Normally they're applied at the same time, but I was just showing that they're in different positions at the same energy. Now this time, the higher fork is swirling and sending out in a negative. This is the beginning of the clearing. And then I will move again up an octave. So now I have 2 octaves that are high octaves, and they will be in or above your body at the energy center. And hold that for a little bit. Sometimes I might reactivate them depending on how fast the vibration dissipates. And then clearing and chasing the energy up and out in a nice flowing motion. And now I almost forgot, but I'm remembering to check the energy center again with my pendulum. And so I hold it over the energy center And as you can see, that energy center is clear and functioning. So that's the demonstration. I would repeat that for each of the energy centers from root all the way up to the crown. And that's what an energy tune-up looks like. Here's some of the things my clients have said from having energy tune-up. This is what Haley has to say. Your energy tune-up yesterday is exactly what I require. I felt so depleted after the busy weekend and woke up full of energy this morning. Thank you. And Taylor says, I had my first session. As soon as I got home, I told my friends and family they have to go see her. The clarity and sense of presence I feel today is euphoric. I feel refreshed, relaxed, and like myself again. After my session, she let me sit and process. This was an amazing experience. So here are some other things that I offer. I offer raindrop sessions, full and localized or spot VitaFlex sessions, neuroauricular technique, also known as NAT. And despite its name, it's not a technique done on the ear. Aroma freedom technique, color light or chromatic light sessions, sacred body language translation, vibrational auricular technique. This one is on the ear, and iToby scans. And so this series that I'm doing about my services, I will be covering these in this series of webinars. So look forward to seeing those so you know what each of these techniques are as well. Here are some frequently asked questions. How long does an energy tune-up take? Well, typically it's 30 minutes. It may take up to 45 minutes, and occasionally an hour if we're really incorporating some body signals there. What if one or more of my chakras doesn't balance? Well, sometimes that happens, and that's okay. We will stop at that chakra. Your body's just simply saying it's not ready to clear that energy center as yet. How long do the results last? Again, this varies. I'm going to say typically a week, maybe more, but it depends on what's going on in your life and how stressed or things like that's going on for you. How often should I book sessions? Well, this is a great question, and again, it depends on what's going on in your life. Early on, I might suggest weekly, and then spread out to bi-weekly, and over time monthly, and maybe even move down to quarterly once you're feeling that your energy is holding. Can sessions be done virtually? Yes, of course they can. Just like I can talk on my phone or do this presentation here, and you can see it somewhere else in the world. Energy works like that. You can do the energy thing here, and it can be received over there. For virtual sessions, do I need to be present? No. You can be on a Zoom call, you can be on a phone call, or you can just trust that I'm doing it. I'll let you know when it's happened and what I noticed. And I do like to have you on the call if that's possible, but I realize sometimes, our schedules just won't coordinate. Maybe we're in different parts of the world and time zones doesn't allow for it to be done with both of us present at the same time. Are tune-ups covered by insurance plans? Typically, no. However, check with your provider. Sometimes if you have, a plan that covers some alternative therapies and they don't require list specific ones, you might be included under that kind of coverage. And so Troy says, I was left at ease. My gremlins were lessened of chronic pain, and I felt more refreshed, replenished, and calmer. Thank you. So now you know what an energy tune-up is. Are you ready for your alignment? Are you ready to feel balanced? So now, if you are ready, I have a special offer for you. This is a fast action bonus. A thank you for being here. So it's an introductory offer. You can book 3 sessions today and get your third session 50% off. And you can book your session by scanning the QR code there. To make it easy to know that you're getting your third session free, I invite you in the notes section when booking, put session 1 of 3, session 2 of 3, and on the third session 3 of 3, 50% off. That way, you're sure to get your for in-person class attendees, remember, as a token of my appreciation for investing your time and showing up and staying to the end, I promised you a gift. Well, there it is. Congratulations, you stayed to the end. You receive a Hip Atlas VitaFlex session for free. This can be done here if you're at an in-person class, or it can be added to your first energy tune-up session when you book your appointment. Or if you're a virtual attendee, you may receive it with your first virtual or in-person booking. Simply add in the booking notes, free gift. So when you have a VitaFlex, Hip Atlas VitaFlex session, what you're doing is you're bringing your hips into balance. You get long-lasting results. You can visually see the results. So you measure your legs. You can see that they're out of balance. One appears to be shorter than the other, and then you can see that they're the same. This can result in restoring lower back comfort and leg comfort, and it saves you time and money. So back to this booking page. If you would like to book your sessions today and get your third session for 50% off, I invite you to scan the QR code and book your session today.